Hey everybody, it's John Halpin. Welcome to the latest edition of Pickwatch Live. This is Josh Katzowitz. We're going to be here talking about all the week 3 games. Josh, Carson Wentz being back is probably the big news this week, right?
Yeah, that's a really big thing for them. And we've talked about this a little bit, right? We've talked about this a pretty good amount with Nick Foles and what we kind of expect from him and, what he is able to do. But, and obviously leading them to a Super Bowl last year in the playoffs was huge, and that'll forever kind of be defining for him as a player. But if you're choosing between Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, you're choosing Carson Wentz every single day. He's the guy who really ran that team really well last year as a rookie, and having him back, it's physical. It's the way what he does in the field, but it's also just a mental thing. It's got to be a mental thing for the Eagles to getting their guy back. They haven't been world beaters so far this year. Maybe this is the chance to kind of get them over the hump with Carson Wentz back in control.
Yep. Okay. So the thing with Wentz this week, he's got no Alshon Jeffrey. He's probably got no J.J. He's got no Darren Sproles. They actually brought Jordan Matthews back this week because he knows the offense because they're so hurting on that receiver. Because Mike Wallace is hurt too. So do all these injuries at some point, you look and you go, all right, the spread here, Eagles by 6.5, over under 47.5. You look at it, you say, they're home. Wentz is back. It's the Colts. I mean, I'm going to give it, but at some point, all those injuries have to add up, right?
Yeah, they do. And the Colts have been okay. With the way that Andrew Luck's played. He hasn't been perfect or anything like that, but I think Indianapolis is one of those teams where you're going into, you're like, this team's going to be trash. And then you're like, oh yeah, Andrew Luck's pretty good. Maybe they're going to be okay. Maybe, what he does on the field can overcome some of the bad parts of that team. I'm trying to remember who I picked. You know what? I went Eagles straight up here, but I did go with the Colts. I had it at plus 6.5. So
yeah.
Obviously I'm feeling the Colts are maybe a little better than we give them credit for. And maybe, like you said, those Eagles injuries are going to catch up with them a little bit, but I still think they'll win.
All right. Yeah, I have them winning and covering. I wouldn't have this high on a confidence rating if we were going to put it that way.
Yeah.
But I do have it that way. All right, we're going to review last week real quick. Josh was 8-7-1 straight up, 5-11 against the spread. Tough week. Bounce back.
Not good.
No, not good. See, after that first week, you were all proud of yourself.
No, I wasn't. I said how lucky I was. You were the one who was pushing me up. I was like, man, it's just luck. It's just luck.
All right. Well, it's not luck. It's skill. That's why we're here. If it's just luck, why would anyone watch? Really, right?
I don't know.
All right. So I was 10-5-1 straight up, 8-8 against the spread. The funny thing is, after 2 weeks, we all have after 2 weeks we had a 1 at the end in each week because there was a tie straight up. Like we're all something in 2, which is kind of ridiculous, but whatever.
Do you like that 10-minute overtime?
I do like 10-minute overtime.
Yeah, I do too.
I like
that's okay.
The way to try to decide it with the possessions, changing, having the field goal not decide it right away. I never liked the sudden death, that if you win the coin flip, you got, a big chance of winning. I never liked that. I like the college thing, actually. I know it's not real football, but it's fun.
I'd rather them do that. I'd rather them do a college thing, but I do like 10 minutes better than 15 minutes as the overtime. I don't care if there's more ties. Whatever. It's fine at 10 minutes.
It's fine. Exactly. And it makes trying to figure out tiebreakers more challenging at the end of the year. So right. That's good. All right. If you have questions for us on Twitter, I'm at jhalpin37. He's at Josh Katzowitz, and the Pickwatch account is at Pickwatch. Okay. So the things you have to watch: this show every Thursday, Ryan Fowler and me every Tuesday. I'm on Facebook Live Sundays at about 11:45 Eastern. Right now Josh has his weekly column that's up, by the way, with every week he's got the game that scares him, the life savings game. And the fun game of the week, which we're going to talk about here. We've got new on Pickwatch. We've got forums coming probably within the next 24 hours. We're recording this. You might be watching live. If you're not, we're recording it at a little after 10:30 Eastern on Thursday. So you're going to have forums coming. You can comment. You can make suggestions to Sean and the developer team. You can chat about the games if you want. The forums are going to be fun to participate in. If you like Pickwatch, you'll like it more with the forums. Also, the search function right now, you can jump from week to week on the search function, which is pretty cool. Let me take a look at that. Let's do, and we're not going to do the search. Actually, I'm going to do the screen share now. I love the screen share, Josh.
That's great. I mean, it's nothing. You got to be careful what you got in your screen when you do it. But other than that,
I got to get some stuff down. You're right. So, all right, take a look at this, right? If you check filters, I can jump to the season. I can do last year. I could jump to week 2. Right here and see Josh's 5-11 against the spread record if I want to. See, hang on. I'm going to type Josh's name right here.
What a jerk.
Right? Hit enter. And Eureka, there is Josh's picks for week 2.
I wouldn't change any of them. It was the NFL that was screwed up, not me.
Yeah. But anyway, if you choose to find that, I know Josh would rather get rid of that, but if you choose to find it, you can. So that's what we're doing here on the search function, which is pretty cool. So you should check it out, everybody. All right, let's ditch the screen share now. We're back. Okay. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Sean wanted me to let everybody know. They're getting the data, the pick data quicker. Actually, more and more people with the functionality we have, more and more people are entering their picks directly. What used to happen more was the Pickwatch team would go scrape the data from sites where people picked, but now more people are entering them directly. That means they're more accurate. We get them faster. It's helpful to everybody, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, you're on Pickwatch already, NFLpickwatch.com. Please keep checking it out. The functionality is going to change all the time and always for the better. Let's get to week 3. We're going to start with Jets-Browns, which is your fun game of the week.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a fun game of the week because I really kind of think the Browns might do it this week. I think they're going to win, which hasn't happened since week 16 of 2016. They've come so close in these past 2 weeks, both of which were heartbreakers for them. And, as much as we talked up Sam Darnold last week, having a great rookie debut, it wasn't that great last week. The Jets weren't that great last week. I really think going in, and especially, the Jets going to Cleveland on a Thursday night game, not much preparation time. It's funny. I was reading somebody who said, I think it was John Breach over at CBS Sports. I was reading his column, and he was saying, it's funny because the Browns never look like they have an offensive game plan any week. But this week, that might be a good thing because, it's a Thursday night game. It's all kind of up in the air. So maybe that's a good thing for Cleveland. I like Cleveland here to get their first win. I think it's going to be a celebration. That's why it's a fun game of the week because it's just fun to see somebody who's as a team that's so bad finally kind of get over that hump and get a W.
I'm with you on this game. I thought coming into the year they were going to win 6 or 7. The kicking game has not helped them for sure. You hate that. You hate that because you look and you see the team's competitive. For 2 games in a row, they've been competitive, and they had kicking screw them up of all things. So it's so chargery for them to have.
What's kind of concerning though is that the report that Hugh Jackson didn't know that Zane Gonzalez was injured for part of Sunday.
Right.
In fact, he didn't know that. That's not a great look at his as a head coach, as a CEO of a team. That's not good.
Every time the spotlight shines on him, it's not a great look.
Yeah,
pretty much,
tough.
right?
It's a tough thing. He was a good offensive coordinator, but man, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it always looks like some goofy's going on there. All right, so we both like the Browns, giving 3 points to the Jets. Much as I like Sam Darnold, I'm going to give him points too. All right, next up, Vikings. 16.5 is where we are now. Might be 17 depending on where you look. Over the Bills. LaShawn McCoy practiced Wednesday. Not sure about Thursday yet. We don't have that yet. He sounds like because he was limited in practice Wednesday, kind of makes you think he'll go. Which is, he's the only game in town for them. This game just has easy blowout written all over it, right? But how willing are you to lay 16.5 points?
I'm willing, man.
Yeah.
I think I learned my lesson with the Bills these past 2 weeks that they're just terrible. I don't see how you have any confidence about how they're going to score any points. I don't see how you have any confidence they're going to stop anybody. If LaShawn McCoy doesn't play, you got Chris Ivory as a backup, and you got Marcus Murphy as a backup. Neither of them are all that good. It's just I don't know. Buffalo has there's no redeeming qualities there, and it's difficult. And Minnesota is one of the best teams in the league, so 17's a huge number, obviously. But I wouldn't feel good about putting my money on the Bills in that situation.
No, I actually took the Bills with the points last week at home.
Yeah, I did too, I think.
And they made a game. I don't know if they made a game of it, but they made the score closer anyway. It was a 31-20. So
still didn't get you. They still didn't cover, right?
Nah, they tried. I thought they were really trying to help me, but it didn't work out. So yeah, I'm going to give the points here too. 16.5. I'm good. The Vikings are a really good team. The Bills are a really bad one. Seems pretty, and they're on the road, so it seems pretty basic here. The Vikings, by the way, with their kicking issues, they signed Dan Bailey, former Cowboy, and they drafted Daniel Carlson, 5th round, and they cut him. So that's a problem. That wound up to be a huge mistake. That probably it cost them a win. Agreement.
Zane Gonzalez was a draft pick. He was a 7th round draft pick. I think the lesson here is that you don't ever draft a kicker or a punter. I mean, that's. What was that? Who did that a couple years ago in the second round?
Bucks in the second round.
Was it Osuna who did that?
The Bucks did it, and they traded up to get him.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what. I guess the 7th rounders, it's okay, whatever. But if you're going 5th rounder, probably not a great move. I think we've seen that over and over again. It's just not a good idea.
Right. All right. So yeah, we're both taking the Vikings, giving them points. Okay. And by the way, on Pickwatch, the experts are 76% are given the points with the Vikings. And back to the other game, 66% are given the points with Cleveland. Okay. And the Eagles, we talked about that. Sorry, I didn't update you on that one. The Eagles, we've got 53% Colts right now.
That's a lot of people taking the Bills, though, right? That number is pretty big, but
24% taking the Bills.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 77.
Colts Eagles is 53% Colts, which is interesting because you took the Colts with the points, and most people agree with you right now by a slim margin. Packers Redskins. Packers favored by 3, 45.5. Are we okay with Rodgers? I asked this to Ryan the other day. Are we okay with Rodgers yet? Are we comfortable with the knee injury? I mean, the reports this week are, well, it could get worse if he gets hit the wrong way. And that can't make you feel good. I've got the Packers in this game, but that's the game, folks. After I'm done with this show, I could flip at any point over the weekend. I'm completely indecisive on it.
I think you're okay with Rodgers I think you're as okay with Rodgers as you can be. I mean, he's a gamer. We've seen that over again in his career. He's even when he's injured, he still is amazing. As long as that injury doesn't get any worse, they're going to be okay. It's hard to tell. If I'm a Packers fan, do I feel great about it? No, but I'd rather have an injured Aaron Rodgers than anybody else in there.
I mean, I wonder if he's as great as he was against the Bears. I wonder if he's limited to a point where a road game against a team that's not terrible, you think about going the other way.
With Deshaun Kaiser?
Well, with Deshaun Kaiser, you definitely go the other way. But even if Rodgers is somewhat hobbled, if you think he's less than 100%, if he's 80, then what are the rest of the Packers and how good are they?
I still think you go with Rodgers. I mean,
right.
I think you go with him until his knee falls off, honestly.
I'm completely on the fence. Right now, I'm taking the Packers. If you see my pick as the Redskins at some point over the weekend on Pickwatch, don't be surprised.
No, I'm taking the Packers at -3. I'm still okay with them. I'm still not on board with Washington. I still take the Packers all day there.
All right. Right now, if you look at Pickwatch, which is shown right here, 65% are Packers -3. So there you go. Next game up, Broncos Ravens. Ravens are given 5. I've seen 5.5. Over-under 44. CJ Mosley did not practice Wednesday for the Ravens. That's a tough one for them. He's a good player.
He is a good player. They need him, and when they're not playing the Bills, they need somebody on defense that can roam that as a linebacker and do well. Yeah, it's. I think we talked about it a little bit. We're not really sure what the Ravens are yet. I don't think they're as good as the team that destroyed Buffalo. I'm not sure they're as bad. Well, I guess they weren't. I don't know. They weren't terrible against the Bengals, but you'd like to see a little bit more out of them.
They were losing 21-0, right?
Yeah, but they came back. Right. Yeah, that's true. They were on the road for that. It's like that typical road team for a Thursday night game. They could have gone in there and got beat 52-10. Really, I mean, they came back and played okay. Made that. They had a chance to tie that game up and make it somewhat close. But so kudos to them for that. But I think, gosh, so much of it comes down to Joe Flacco. It's hard to trust Joe Flacco, and because he can be great and he can be terrible. It's just you don't know. Right.
I think the Broncos defense is good enough here. I'm going to take Ravens straight up and Broncos against the spread because the number's a little high for me. And that's basically me saying I don't trust the Ravens.
I took the Ravens straight up here and Denver's +5.
That's me. Same.
Is that okay? Case Keenum has been pretty good. I think Denver's going to be okay in this game in particular. I don't know. This to me is a toss up. I think it's gonna be, it's like gonna be like a Ravens by a field goal kind of thing.
Okay. All right. We've got on Pickwatch experts 83% Ravens straight up, and we've got 59% Broncos against the spread. So basically, more people are where we are.
Yeah.
So no much of what everybody else thinks, but that's where we are. Okay.
If it was +3, it'd be different. If Broncos were +3, it might be a different story.
Yep. 49ers Chiefs. I've seen 6. We have 6 on Pickwatch, 7 on Bovada as of right now. The over/under is 56. I love this Chiefs with the crazy video game over/unders every week. They're a lot of fun. I got to tell you, I've liked what I've seen from the Niners so far, even if they let that game get too close against the Lions on Sunday.
Yeah, it's Yeah, the 49ers, I see, I know what you're saying. I know you like the 49ers, but I tell you what, in this particular game, I love the Chiefs.
Okay.
I love
That's your life savings game. So yeah, what's up?
it is my life savings game because we talk so much about these young quarterbacks and what they can do and how that affects how you should pick games. But Mahomes has been so good, and it's not just that, he's just got so many weapons around him. There's so much that offense can do. Even if Mahomes isn't playing great, there is a lot that can go right with that offense, and we've seen that nobody can stop him yet. I mean, I guess at some point somebody will figure out how to slow him down a little bit, and maybe then it's a different story because that Chiefs defense is so bad. They need that offense to score so many points to keep them ahead, But I think it's still early enough in the season where teams haven't gotten a handle on Mahomes and how that offense is going to run. So I really like the Chiefs here. I like the Chiefs to go big.
Okay, let's get going. So we talked about Broncos at 49ers Chiefs. You've got Chiefs all across the board. I've got Niners against the spread. Let's go to Giants Texans. Giants against.
What's everybody saying on that game?
Oh, the Chiefs and the. Everybody's got the Chiefs with you. It's 63% with the given the points, 93% straight up are on the Chiefs.
Yeah, okay.
So next we've got here Giants Texans. Texans favored by 6. Over under 41.5. The Giant Clowney might be back for the Texans. Watt's playing. Giants can't protect the quarterback. This is a problem. This is bad. I mean, I would say this is a bad spot for the Giants, but it appears that every spot is a bad spot for the Giants at this point. It's just it's a mess. Eli's not even looking downfield. He's just checking down as fast as he can.
Yeah, it's a problem. I guess if there's one saving grace for the Giants in this game in particular, obviously the Texans have so much talent on defense, but nobody's played that well yet. I mean, J.J. Watt hasn't played that great. He doesn't have any sacks so far. Whitney Merciless only has 5 tackles through the first 2 games. Doesn't have any sacks. Clowney, wasn't around and hasn't played. He's been just a guy so far. So I guess if you're the Giants and you're looking at something that is a little bit of a saving grace, you say, okay, well, our offensive line sucks, but the Texans defense hasn't been that good either. Maybe this is a game for us to get better, not just the Texans who can look at that line and say, this is a game where we're going to destroy Eli. The Giants can be like, okay, this is a game where we can get healthy, we can get mentally better because so far the Texans haven't been that great on the line.
All right. Yeah, I've got the Texans. I could see it going the other way. I normally I was saying on Tuesday, after 2 or 3 weeks, I like looking for the desperate teams. But I don't think this is a great spot. I don't see it in this spot. I'm going Texans and giving the points.
Yeah, me too. But no, you can't look at the Giants and think that, oh, this is the team that's gonna be any good this year. They're not until that offensive line gets healthy. I mean, it's embarrassing to watch that team play, and you feel sorry for Eli. You feel sorry for Eric Flowers. I mean, that guy just gets pounded at right tackle, and he's the focal point of so many people looking at this guy and saying, God, this guy's terrible. I feel bad for him in that aspect. But what I just said before about this is a game that the Giants offensive line could play well. That could happen. I don't believe it's going to happen, but I'm just saying that as a save, that's like a potential silver lining. I'm still going Texans big here.
All right. Right now, and by the way, having grown up a Giants fan, I don't feel bad for Eric Flowers right now at all.
I need to look at how much he's making this year. I wonder how much he's what his paychecks are.
He's still on a rookie salary scale, so it's not crazy. Thank goodness. Right now, 53% of the people who are in so far in Pickwatch of the experts are taking the Giants with the points, but 95% are taking the Texans straight up. So basically, that's a suggestion that, all right, the spread's a little too big here for what the Texans are. Saints Falcons. Saints are getting 3 at Atlanta. Was last year's Saints defense a fluke? I mean, they didn't get killed against the Browns, but no, I mean, and they got that throw to Callaway. I don't know how they gave that up in the last minute of the game. I don't know how they let him get behind the defense. It was ridiculous. It was terrible.
The Saints defense last year wasn't great early on either. They got off to a pretty bad start. Got it turned around in like week 3, week 4, something like that. So I think maybe there's still some hope there. What they're going to have to do is play well in the red zone against the Falcons. I mean, we've seen that. That's been such a big focal point for the Falcons this year. They can move the ball up and down the field. It's a matter of what happens once they get inside the 20. We saw in week 1 where they were terrible and what happened and they lose. And we saw last week against the Panthers where they were great again in the red zone and they win the game. So that's got to be a huge focal point for the New Orleans defense.
So this is your scares the hell out of you game this week.
Yeah, it is, because I don't know what the Falcons are. And like I said, so much of it revolves around that red zone, and Steve Sarkisian as the offensive coordinator and what he's doing, what he's calling. They were, like I said, they were terrible in week 1, but they were great last week. This is a team that many people were picked in to be a Super Bowl contender, and in week 1 they didn't play it. And Matt Ryan, we talked about last week, Matt Ryan didn't look good, and he looked his fastball looked a little slow, and I think there was some cause for concern. Maybe they got healthy last week against Carolina, and it'll be a different story going into New Orleans. But I'm still not 100% sure that this is a Falcons team that's going to be great. But they're at home. They're against one of their biggest rivals, so they tend to do better that way. I think they're going to be okay this week, but it's still a little scary to think about. Are they an upper echelon team for sure? I think that we don't know yet.
Okay. Right now we've got 58% Falcons from the experts that are in. Against the points, we've got 60% Saints. Even with 3 points, that's a little weird. But okay. I am going.
People are saying that's going to be a really close game then.
I'm going Falcons. I like them. I like the way they played last week against the Panthers. I thought they looked pretty good. And that game was not as close as the score indicated.
Yeah.
So
no, I got Falcons straight up and -3.
All right. Next up, Bengals. Speaking of the Panthers. Panthers at home favored by 3 over the Bengals. Over-unders 44. Joe Mixon out, so Gio Bernard's going to carry most of the load for the Bengals. The Bengals 2-0. Bengals are getting respect from Vegas here because this is basically, this line says, other than the home field, is a toss-up.
Yeah. Plus, they're coming off that Thursday night game. They have an extra 3 or 4 days to prepare. Yeah. That's always a good thing, even when you got to go on the road. I covered the Bengals for a few years when I lived in Cincinnati, so I've seen Marvin Lewis up close, and I think people still aren't really sure why he's coaching the team at this point. And they've never been a team that's going to go 14-2 under Marvin Lewis. So it's hard to get behind the idea that the Bengals are going to be one of those world beaters. I can't remember what I picked here. I got Carolina straight up, but I have the Bengals +3. So it's a little strange. So I guess I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Bengals will end up falling short. That's seemingly what they do in some of these games. So that's where I'm going.
I'm kind of with you. I think this is this is a pretty good game. Not a high scoring game, but a pretty good game. I think it's kind of a toss up. Panthers are at home. I'm going to take them. Right now, we've got 63% Panthers from the experts on Pickwatch, given the points. And we have got 65% Panthers straight up, which kind of makes sense. Okay, next up.
That was one of the games that scared the hell out of me game. That was one I was originally going to go with. So that game is not an easy one, I think, to pick.
Yep, I agree with you. Raiders Dolphins at Miami. Raiders are +3. Are you surprised that I know the Dolphins are 2-0, and I understand that people think, well, the first game was a little weird with the lightning and the delays and all that, and Mariota got hurt. And then week 2, well, they beat the Jets, so big deal. But they're 2-0, and they're a field goal game. But what I said the last game is the same as this game. This game is almost looked at, other than the home field, this would be a toss-up. And the Raiders aren't good. It surprised me. I thought the spread would be a little bigger.
I think I can see what you're saying, especially with the Raiders having to go all the way across the country to do it. And West Coast teams typically don't do well when they have to do that. I think maybe the reason, I think the Raiders have shown some life. I mean, I think John Gruden has done, he's done some good things. In week 1, they played really close with the Rams for a lot of that game. Just so happens they don't play that well in the second half, I guess. But so I can see that. I can see that spread being not that great. And I think that, I think people are still have questions about the Dolphins. I mean, Ryan Tannehill's played well so far, but he's typically not a guy who's done all that well. I just think there's a lot of questions. I look at the receivers and the running backs, and it's like, they're okay. There's nothing great there. So I think maybe it's more of a question of, whether the Dolphins are any good more than the Raiders suck. I think that it's still kind of unclear what the Dolphins are.
Okay. I think it's unclear what the Dolphins are too. I don't think they're, 2-0 team doesn't get me excited either, but I think this one, I'm taking the Dolphins, and for me, it's more about the Raiders than it is about the Dolphins.
Yeah. Where did I pick? I think I'm going the same way with you. Yeah. Miami -3. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Oakland comes out and plays okay, because they've shown spurts of that so far. I don't think they're quite as bad as you think they are.
Okay, that's fair. Right now we've got on Pickwatch 63%. Actually, straight up, we've got 83% Dolphins. With the points, 65% Dolphins. So people are pretty much with us here. Okay, next game, Titans, Jags. All right, the line's off in a lot of places because we don't know what Mariota's status is. But, hypothetically, let's put it this way. If this line is 7, and I've seen 6.5, I've seen 7.5. If this line is 7 and Mariota plays, who do you pick?
Oof. I don't know. I don't know if I think the Jaguars are really good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that whether it's Blaine Gabbert or Mariota in there, I don't think the Titans are covering 7. The Jacksonville defense is going to eat both of them up, I think, either way. And the way that Blaine Gabbert, the way that Blake Bortles played last week, you have to like where Jacksonville's going. I mean, Jacksonville just beat up on the Patriots, and not many people can do that. And then now they have the Titans. I think that's a much easier game and a game where they could win by double digits. So I'm not sure that it really matters where the Mariota or Gabbert's in there. I'd go Jaguars either way.
All right, right now it looks like injury-wise, it looks like the Titans tackles are going to be back. Again, they were out on the practice field on Thursday, which is a big deal because they were without their top 3 offensive tackles last week.
Yeah.
The Leonard Fournette looks like he's going to play for the Jags. So most of them back to full strength. Mariota was weird. On Wednesday, he talked about it still being frustrating because he still has trouble feeling the ball, which, I mean, problem. Huge problem.
Not good. Yeah.
I don't think Gabbert is – look, I'm picking the Jags if Gabbert plays. If Mariota plays, I might have to think about the 7 points because I still think the Titans are a decent team. But I don't think Gabbert is some Deshaun Kaiser level disaster of a backup quarterback. When the Packers played Kaiser a couple of weeks ago, you went, oh my God, they're dead. I mean, they can't do anything. And with Gabbert, I mean, he checks down a lot and all that, but he's not just throwing the towel when you play him. He's a step down, but I don't think he's horrendous.
No, I mean, he was okay last week. He wasn't a disaster. He's not like oh God, I can't think of the guy's name for the Vikings.
I forgot.
I can't remember.
Anyway,
there was a bunch of those guys who were drafted that same year. It was like dude in Cleveland, Brandon. I can't think of any of those guys' names now. Christian Ponder, I was thinking of.
Oh right, okay.
Oh my gosh, when the guys are so bad that you can't remember their names, not a good thing. But he's been, how many leagues has he been in? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's been like 8 years now. Gabbert has. He starts about 5, 6, 7 games a year. They're not. He does okay. He's not awful. He's a backup guy. And last week he was, they asked him to do a lot last week. He ended up throwing, well, I guess on the season he's thrown 42 passes. So he's getting out there and slinging around a little bit, and he hasn't been terrible. So that's why I kind of think that it doesn't really matter. Mariota is obviously a better player, a much better player, but I don't think they lose a ton if he's not in there and Gabbert has to go in there and throw the ball around a little bit.
All right. If Mariota plays, the 7-point spread might scare me away from the Jags, but we're going to wait and see on that. Right now, we've got 75% Jags given the points from the experts and 95% Jags straight up. Like I said, it looks as of Thursday, I am proceeding as if Mariota won't play, and if things change, we'll figure it out. Next up is the Battle of Los Angeles for 2 teams Los Angeles probably doesn't care that much about. Well, they care about the Rams. I don't care about the Chargers at all. It doesn't seem. I mean, they have a 35,000 seat stadium, and last week it was full of Chiefs fans, or 2 weeks ago it was full of Chiefs fans. So not good. Anyway, back to football. Rams are favored by 7. Over-unders 48. Still no Bosa for the Chargers, which stinks. The Chargers, yeah, I know they bounced back with a win last week, but it was against the Bills. So I don't know. The Rams look like a team that might just steamroll everybody. I know they played 2 bad teams so far. They played the Raiders, and who'd they play last week? It was someone terrible. The Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
They look like one of those teams that might roll through the league and go 15-1 right now.
Well, their schedule coming up is not easy, so I'm not sure. They have the Vikings in week 4 at home, then they're at Seattle, which can be a tough place to play. Then they're at Denver. They're at the Saints later in the year. They have the Chiefs. So it'll be interesting to see. If they go 15-1 against that kind of schedule, then yeah, I can get on board with you there. This week, yeah, I don't like the Chargers. I don't know why. I just don't like I just don't think they're that good.
Okay.
And so yeah, I'm going Rams here. Jared Goff has played well, and when you got Todd Gurley in there and just the way he's played, it's a pretty easy call for me. The Battle of Los Angeles. It's so funny that it's what a disaster the Chargers are. We don't talk about that enough. We should talk about that every week. What a disaster that franchise is in Los Angeles. It's an unfortunate situation.
I hate it. I like them, and I hope they do well. And every year I want them. I think this might be it, and it just doesn't work out.
Phillip Rivers is running out of time. It's not on him. He's a great quarterback. He should have better support around him, and he should have the Super Bowl ring. But that team just never does it for him.
Right. So right now we have the experts that are in. I remember it's early. It's Thursday morning, so everybody's not in yet. The experts that are in so far, 75% Chargers with points. So people think that number is too big for a team like as good as the Chargers, however you could think they are. People probably think they're average or better or something. And the spread being 7 is scaring people away from the Rams. So the people are taking Chargers with points so far. We're 95% Rams straight up. Next up is Cowboys at Seattle. Pretty close to toss-up. It's a Seahawks by a point as of this morning. Remember I was talking about desperate teams earlier. 0-2 Seahawks at home. That qualifies to me. It's just a matter of if I think they're good enough. I mean, and the team coming in to play them, the Cowboys, they're okay. So normally I would pick the Seahawks here. I'm just not sure how bad I think the Seahawks are.
Yeah, no, I think I went with Seahawks here. Yeah, I have Seahawks straight up, and I think when I picked it, it was -1, so I went with Seahawks there too. It's when you see Russell Wilson running around like you saw. Was that the Sunday night game or the Monday night game? It was Sunday night, right?
That was Monday night.
It was Monday night game.
Yep.
So you see him running around, and it's like, wow, boy, that's a tough thing for him. And you're right, that team around him isn't very good, but I think he's a really special player. He hasn't, like, his stats this year aren't great, but I think at home, I think that's a team that can get some things done because I don't believe in the Cowboys either. The defense was pretty good last week, but it was against the Giants, so it's hard to say whether that means anything at all. I like the Seahawks here, but it's like like you said, if you're doing a conference league, I'm not really confident in that game, right. But it's such a close spread that I think I'm okay going Seahawks.
It's a point. Seahawks by a point right now.
Yeah,
or a point and a half, depending on where you're looking.
Yeah, so you can pick them straight up and you go take them with the points too. I just I think I like that home field advantage a lot. I think that to me that plays a role. And like you said, they're desperate and they need a win. They have Arizona. They're at Arizona next week in week 4. So they play well. They play good enough against Dallas. They play good enough against Arizona. And now all of a sudden they're 2-2. And okay, they're doing okay. They're doing some good things. So I think desperation may be a good thing for them.
Yeah, right. That's another one. Folks, follow Pickwatch over the weekend for picks from everybody. But this is a game right now. I have the Cowboys, and 53% of the people with the points on pick with the very low point spread have the Cowboys on Pickwatch. This is a game I could flip over the course of the weekend again. I wouldn't take whatever I'm saying on this show right now. We're talking about the game. I wouldn't take my pick of the Cowboys as gospel right now because I might flip back to the Seahawks. But I always say, you know what I hate? When I change my mind, I go, was my first instinct the best one? And that's totally not analytical. It's like not that I'm jinxing myself, but I go, if I change my mind, I lose, I'm going to feel stupid. Like last week when I pulled away from the Titans. So anyway. All right, next let's go Bears-Cardinals. Bears are favored by 6 at Arizona. Over-under is very low, 37.5, 38, depending on where you're looking. It was 39.5, and it's dropping. Hopefully, Steve Wilkes says David Johnson's going to get more involved. I hope so for the Cardinals' sake. He's one of the only he's the best player they have.
Yeah. So why haven't they used him? Why haven't they? It's been they gave him a huge deal, right? Why?
Right.
What's the deal? What's going on?
I don't know. Doing it for them? And they're not using him in the passing game, which the guy was a receiver in college before he became a running back.
Yeah, the whole Arizona thing's a weird thing. I thought they'd be okay. the way that the fact they played so badly is really kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of hoped they would be better. And before the season, they were projected to be one of the worst 5 in the league. I thought they might be better than that, but I don't think they are. You know what? It's weird here. I'm looking at the Pickwatch picks. Against the spread, the people who are in so far are 65% Cardinals. I got the Bears here, but I think the Bears are good. I know they lost that game to the Packers, but probably fluky, all-time great player. I'm not going to kill them for it. They looked fine against the Seahawks. I know it was 24-17, but one of the touchdowns was garbage time. I think the Bears are a pretty good team. And I think people picking the Cardinals in this game, I know it's a home team, you're getting a decent amount of points. I think the Bears are a good team. I think the Bears are going to show that they're going to take care of business here, and they're on their way to probably a 10-win season for me.
Wow. I don't know if I believe that. I went with the Cardinals at +6 here, probably because of what I just said, because I don't think they're as bad as they've shown so far.
All right.
David Johnson I think he's only got like 22 rushes, 22 rushes for 85 yards. Man, that's awful. He's only got 6 catches. So, I think if they're going to look at –
they got crushed twice. Maybe that factors in.
That could be, but you want to get the ball in the guy's hands, and he's only got the ball – he's averaging like 14 touches a game. That's just not enough, especially because he is like one of the only weapon they've got. I guess for me it's they're at home, which Arizona can be a difficult place to play. Bears played the Monday night game, right? I can't remember.
Bears played the Monday night game, yes.
So, so the going on the road after a Monday night game is never a great – I think that was the reason why I think I went +6 with the Cardinals, is because that to me is a decent-sized factor where you got to play Monday night. Then you got to go on the road for a Sunday game. I think I'm pretty confident that Chicago will win, but I don't think it'll be by that much. I think that's why I went with the Cardinals +6.
Okay. I've got like I said, 65% of the people are with you against the spread. Most people are with actually straight up. Let me take a look. Straight up, we've got 88% Bears. But yeah, people are with you with the spread so far. All right, Sunday night, Patriots at Lions. Bovada has the spread at 7. We've got it 6.5 last I looked. It's going to be somewhere in that range, over under 52. This is the desperate team thing doesn't work all the time. And maybe it's just my imagination to begin with, but let's play along. This is my desperate team here. If the Pats had won last week and they were 2-0, I would be all over the Lions here. Now I still think I'm going to take them.
At what, +6.5?
At +6.5, yes.
Well, how much did that game last week affect you in Jacksonville?
It did. I think the Jags are a really good team. That game didn't surprise me one bit. I mean, the Jags worked them over, maybe a little more than I thought they would. But I thought the Jags were going to win. So that didn't bother me about that. That didn't make me look and say, oh, wow, maybe the Patriots are not that good.
So you still think the Patriots are pretty good?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lions are awful.
No, I don't think so either. They're kind of like the Cardinals where I've expected them to play better than they played. Maybe Matt Patricia God, it's so early to say this, but maybe he's just not the right guy for that job. It's funny because you look back at – and people, this is not an original thought by me. Other people have said this, but, when people go after Josh McDaniels as, the Patriots offensive coordinator and they want to hire him, the Patriots make it real clear they want McDaniels to stay. They're going to give him a lot of money to stay. When people go after Matt Patricia, they say, okay, see you later, Matt. Good. Thanks for your time here.
Right.
And maybe there's something to that. Now, that's an extra interesting element coming in now to this game where Matt Patricia is going against his old team. So you have to wonder if he knows something, if he's going to be able to prepare his Lions team for the Patriots defense he was running last year. Maybe that's an interesting element, but yeah, maybe the Lions just aren't very good and the Patriots are, but going to Detroit, I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win easy, but I'm confident they're going to win, but that 6.5 does give me a little bit of pause. Let me see what I picked here. I can't remember. Yeah, I went with Detroit +6.5. So yeah, I think it's going to be a close game.
Right now, we've got 69% of the experts are given the points with the Patriots. And, well, so far 100%. We don't have that many in yet. 100% have picked them to win straight up. I mean, if the Lions win this game 27-24, I'm not going to be shocked.
No, because, Matt Stafford can Matt Stafford can play can get rolling and throw 5 touchdowns in a game and make it a big scoring game. So and we haven't seen that yet, but he's certainly capable.
Yep. All right. Last game, Steelers Bucks, close point and a half in favor of the Steelers right now. Over-under is pretty high, 53.5, because the Bucks' offensive juggernaut is causing that, right? Not the Steelers, not Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger, but Ryan Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Jackson are causing the over-under, just like we all expected when the season started 3 weeks ago, right?
Right, exactly. Now, see, that would have been now. If you were picking that, then you'd really be a Pickwatch expert, right?
Right? Fitz, amazing.
I wrote about it in my column this week. I covered the Bengals in 2008 when Carson Palmer went out early in the season and Fitzpatrick started, I think, the last 12 games of the year. And it was every week. It was like, God, this team is so bad. And Fitzpatrick is so just not a good quarterback. And they're never going to go anywhere with Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick is never going to take any team anywhere. And if you had told me 10 years ago that in 2018, it'd be Fitz magic time and that he'd be putting up huge numbers for a team that wasn't supposed to be very good and they're 2-0 now, I never would have believed you. So, hey, man. And you saw what he did last week coming in the post game, looking like Conor McGregor with his chest hair showing. I just thought that's so great, man. I mean, a guy who – how could you not love that guy? How can that Buccaneers team not love that guy? And it's the reports that Jameis Winston has texted his receivers saying, hey, guys, great game. I'm so excited to get back. That almost smells like desperation to me, where it's like, hey, don't forget about me, guys. Don't forget about me.
No kidding. I mean, 2 weeks ago, even after game 1, I was looking at this going, hey, come on. Jameis has the job when he gets back. I mean, he can't, like Sean Jackson said. I mean, especially if they win again this week and Fitz plays well, what are you going to do, take him out? You can't. I don't think it will stay that way all year because at some point Fitz becomes Fitz. He is who he is. He throws a bunch of interceptions. He's a low-end starter, high-level backup. And Jameis, I think, is pretty good. So at some point, I think Jameis is going to get that job. I just don't think it's going to be week 4, which is what I thought when the season started.
I think no matter how much they love Jameis in Tampa Bay or no matter how much better he is as a quarterback than Fitzpatrick, I think it's a detriment to that team. I think the team will be pissed if they put Jameis back in there immediately. I just don't think it's good for team chemistry. Especially because of the why he's being suspended. I mean, if it was a PED thing, that's one thing. If it was a substance abuse thing, okay, not great, but fine. But, the whole sexual assault thing, that really, I don't see how you go and put the guy back in and make everything normal again, All
right, so let's say –
Sorry, and Fitzpatrick has, as much as I dragged him in the column for what he did in Cincinnati in 2008, he had a good year a couple years ago in New York. He led that team to 10-6 in 2015. So this isn't a guy who's like a terrible quarterback. I don't think he's like this good, right? But he's legit okay.
So if he throws 3 picks and they lose 31-10 Monday night, what do you think happens?
I think he has to start again. I don't think you can take him. Their bye week is really early this year. It's either week 4 or week 5.
I think it's 5, but I'm not positive.
I don't think you take him out if he doesn't play well on Sunday or on Monday against the Steelers. I think you still leave him in there for another week, and then depending on what he does in week 4, then you go into the bye and you try and figure it out then. But I think I don't think you take him out even if he's horrible on Monday.
All right, who do you got in this game?
Good question. Who do I have? I have Tampa Bay.
Me too.
Straight up, and they're plus 1.5, right? Plus 1.5. So yeah, I mean, I think Pittsburgh's defense is really bad. I think Fitzpatrick has the ability to put up really big numbers again this week.
I think I agree with you on the Steelers defense. Right now, it's 53% Steelers against the spread, 51% straight up on Pickwatch. So people looking at this game as tough to figure out, which the Bucs. That's a good description of the Bucs right now. They're tough to figure out, I think, as well as they've been playing. Josh, what else you got going on?
Man, there's a big fight last weekend. The Canelo Alvarez Gennady Golovkin fight was a good fight. Maybe Mayweather is coming back to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Oh man, come on, enough at that.
How about I'll tell you what. Let's pay another $100 to watch 2 guys who are in their late 30s or early 40s fight a fight that should have been fought 10 years ago. How about that? Right? That's good for boxing. Good for boxing.
It's so terrible. Who cares? Whatever. I can't do that
one. That nobody wants, that nobody asked for, but that everybody will watch.
You think so? People will pony up for that amount of money?
Yeah, because I want to see Floyd get beat.
Yeah, I want to see Floyd get beat.
So yeah, I think people will. Yeah, I think they'll pony up. It's going to be $100 like it was last time, which is outrageous, and they'll make a ton of money, and that's why they're doing it. So, and Floyd will win probably. So it's like this heel persona continues, and everybody's gonna be pissed. Like, why did I put so much money on that damn fight? And keep coming back for more, man.
Oh, as Don King said, only in America, right? That's great.
That's right.
It's a great deal. All right, folks, find us again. I'm at Halpin37. He's at Josh Katzowitz, and the main account is at Pickwatch on Twitter. Watch NFLPickwatch.com all weekend for not only the games I'm going to probably switch, the 2 or 3 games that Eric switch it, but for Josh's picks, my picks, everybody's picks coming in all weekend on Pickwatch that'll help you make picks of your own this week in week 2. Again, this show, if you're watching on Facebook, thanks. If you're not, you might be watching on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe where you get this. Plus, this show not only is the 45, 50, whatever minutes it is, but we chop it up so you can watch the individual games discussion. So if you only want to see us talk about Cardinals and Bears, you can do that on our YouTube channel. So sometime late Thursday night usually. So please check that out too. That's it. That's it for the latest edition of Pickwatch Live. Again, I'll be back here Sunday, 11:45 a.m. Talk about the inactives, news, all that stuff for a quick Facebook Live show. So please check that out. For Josh Katzowitz, I'm John Halpin. Thanks for watching.